What's good, y'all? Different location, different vibes. Trying to get out a little bit more. Just got done shooting some content for Jeep. Yeah, Jeep. Hey, I'm on a Jeep. So figured it'd be a good time to talk about honing your skills, refining them, and then also doubling down on the things that you're not good at. It's important to not be stagnant and to continue to make progress when you're talking about, improving and being the best version of yourself. It's funny because people should focus more on who they were yesterday compared to today instead of comparing yourself to everybody else. And I feel like that's kind of a theme that I keep talking about, is just making sure you focus on yourself and not looking at what everybody else is doing, and staying on your path. But, the things that you're the worst at are the things that you need to double down on. I had a coach in high school, my weightlifting coach. Shout out to Coach Motter. She was the baddest of the baddest. She could move some weight, competed, champ. I don't know wherever she's at. Shout out to Coach Motter. But, when we were competing and trying to be the strongest we could be, I remember there was this one machine. It was kind of like a hip flexor, it was for your hamstrings and your glutes. But I think it was the reverse swing. I don't even know what it is, but it's the machine you lay on and you swing your legs back and forth. And I was so bad at it, and I hated it. Every time we'd have to do it, I would try to run away from doing it. And she one day looked at me and said, "Wallen, why are you trying to avoid this workout? You know you're gonna have to do it." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not good at it." And I swear this changed my framing and my thinking forever. She said, "The thing that you are the worst at and you struggle with the most is the thing that you need to work on the most. Don't run away from that thing. Double down on it. Get better at it." I didn't really get it at that point, but I was like, all right, let me try this. I have to do it anyway. And I did it. I kept doing it for months on end, and I started getting better. And she looked at me and she said, "You remember when I told you were going to get better at this?" And she didn't say it like that, but she said, "You need to double down on it." And I started to not fear that workout anymore. I started not to hate it because I became good at it. And it's the same thing with your careers, with skills. Double down on the things that you're good on, right? You're good at, and make sure you're doing what you need to do. You're focusing on those things. You're refining those skills. But sometimes it's good to find some of those other things and refine them and get better at it. I'm not saying do everything that you're bad at and double down on everything that you're bad at, but there's some things you need to get better at. Some of you are excellent project managers, but terrible communicators. Actually, I don't think that works. Some of y'all are excellent contributors, but not the greatest leaders, not the greatest mentors. You're going to have to find ways to get better at that, because that is a natural step you need to move forward, to get good at what you need to do and to get into those manager roles, those C-suite roles. And those things are important. It's the same thing with being a founder. I did a lot of the things that I'm hiring out people to do right now. I used to freelance and film different odd jobs and work for local coffee shops and record and film all the things that I needed to do. And I got pretty good at it. And then I stopped doing it because I wanted to move up in the marketing world. I wanted to be in charge. I wanted to have a team because I was drawn to being a leader as well. So I focused on that and I got really good at it. And I've always been a great leader and good at what I did. And from college and high school to being team captain, I always gravitated towards being a leader. So, I wanted to refine those things. And if you want to be if you want to make a natural jump from being a contributor to a leader and a mentor, you need to refine those skills. You need to find ways to mentor people that are coming in, or younger folks. It doesn't need to be someone that works at your job. Help out a college student, give them some advice. You need to be able to manage up. You need to be able to guide and dictate and help educate your managers and your supervisors and your C-suite to help make sure that you get them where they need to go. And naturally, that'll trickle down with the stuff you need to do. But I'm talking about refining your skills because my day-to-day is being on the phone, getting on emails, hiring teams. I'm essentially an executive producer that does a lot of the C-suite stuff, which is building out the company, figuring out what the right place to show up at, figuring out what to charge for certain things, negotiating contracts, pitching. I pitch so much, and recruiting new folks to be part of the network that we have, the collective, the Lantana Collective. That is a great name. I should do something with that, with the Lantana Collective, right? And that's where I spend most of my time. So I'm not creating as much. I'm not doing and ideating as much as I used to. I do dabble in it when I need to, right? And I think and that's what I'm trying to do now, filming some content, things that are a little bit different that I typically don't do. Wanted to get out here and film and get back to those roots, to start to refine those skills, get good at them, because you still need to have an eye. You still need to know how things work. Technology is changing at a rapid pace. So that's important to keep doing as well. And I think you also make sure you focus on that, refining your skills, getting the best, becoming the best that you can be at what you do, finding those little things that you're like, hey, I'm not really good at that. Let me double down on that one thing. Again, do not pick everything that you're bad at and double down on that, but pick one thing and focus on that and refine it. It doesn't just have to be corporate America and moving up in the ranks and refining your skills as far as, working, right? It could be personal things. If you want to be a better husband or a better girlfriend, focus on that. Read some books, get good at relationships and understanding psychology and some of those things, and being the best spouse you can be. If you feel like your cardiovascular isn't where it needs to be, try running more often. You're probably not running at all, or maybe you're running once a month. Try increasing the frequency in which you do that, but it's the small incremental things that lead to the larger things. And I think, that's important. And that's why I'm out here filming, and I forgot what it took sometimes. And that's why I have this channel, and it's why I film stuff, and I'm trying to get more on social. And even though I really don't like it, everyone tells me I'm pretty good at it. I beg to differ, but I want to refine that. I want to be a better speaker, and I want to be a better creative, and I want to be able to be a better spouse and a better brother and a better son. I think those things are important. And I think we all should focus on some of those things to get better at. But, don't try to do it all at once. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know what I mean? So take your time. And that seems to be a common thing with me too, telling people to take their time. Also, I did not mean to become a motivational speaker. I don't think that's what I am at all. I just wish that there was somebody that, could sit around and give me some advice when I was coming up. I wish there was people that would have sat me down and told me, hey man, you want to be a manager or a director at 22 years old with no experience at the job and make $150,000 salary. You're not ready. And I'm, young, ambitious, and I'm like, let's go. Why am I not getting the promotion I deserve? And it took me a while to realize, seeing VPs and directors handling really tough client calls. And, I'm like, gosh, how did y'all handle that? I didn't know what to say, to realize that I wasn't ready. I wish somebody would have slowed me down and told me to enjoy it. And you have people that tell you, like, slow down, don't worry, you have plenty of time, you're so young, just doesn't click for you. But I think it's important for people to really find different ways to communicate that to folks so that they really understand what you mean when you say that, because you do have time. You have a ton of time. I'm in my 30s. I just got here. And I think I have a long way to go. I don't think I'll ever retire in my life, which is crazy to say, because I love what I do. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking through the whole video. I have no idea what I'm gonna title this video at all, but it's reflections, and wanted to kind of just talk about refining your skills a little bit. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate y'all. I gotta get down from this car now.